The Nazi Party rally grounds covered about 11 square kilometers in the southeast of Nuremberg, Germany. 6 Nazi Party rallies were held there between 1933 and 1938. Overview: the grounds included, the Luitpoldarena, a deployment area, the Luitpold Hall or Old Congress Hall, the Kongresshalle or Neue Kongresshalle, the Zeppelinfeld, another deployment area, the Markcurrency RZFELD, a deployment area for the Wehrmacht, the Deutsche Stadion, which was to be the largest sports stadium in the world, the former Stadion der Hitlerjugend, the Gruelstraße, a parade road, a Haus der Kultur, and a representative entrance portal towards the Great Road were planned at the northwestern end of the Great Road, near the Congress Hall. Only Zeppelinfeld, Luitpoldarena and Gruelstraße were finished. The Kongresshalle, Zeppelinfeld and the Gruelstraße have been under monument protection since 1973 as significant examples for NS architecture. The grounds were planned by Hitler's architect Albert Speer, apart from the Congress Hall, which was planned by Ludwig and Franz Ruff. Today the whole site is a memorial, and parts are used as the Norrisring motor racing track. On August 30, 1933 Hitler declared Nuremberg the city of the Reich Party. The party congresses were a self-portrayal of the NS state and had no programmatic task. The unity of the nation was to be demonstrated. In a propagandistic way a relation was to be drawn between the NS movement and the glory of the medieval emperors and the meetings of the imperial states which were held in Nuremberg. The party congresses of the NSDAP from 1923 to 1938, the buildings, Luitpoldarena. Since 1906 a parkway named Luitpoldane existed here. During the Weimar Republic the Ehrenhall was built in the parkway. In 1933 Hitler replaced the parkway by a strictly structured deployment area, the so-called Luitpoldarena, with an area of 84,000 miles squared. Opposite the Ehrenhall the crescent-shaped Ehrentribüne, or main grandstand which measured 150 am long with 6 am gold eagles on each end was built. This structure, built by architect Albert Speer, could seat 500 dignitaries and represented the first permanent structure built by the Nazis in Nuremberg. The Ehrenhall, and the Ehrentribüne were connected by a wide granite path. Ehrenhall. The Ehrenhall was built by the city of Nuremberg according to a plan of German architect Fritz Mayer. It was inaugurated in 1930, before the Hitler era during the Weimar Republic. It is an arcaded hall with an adjacent cobbled stone terrace with 2 rows of pedestals for fire bowls. All 14 pylons remain virtually intact and have not been ignited since the final Nazi Party rally in September, 1938. Originally the hall was to be a memorial site for the 9,855 soldiers from Nuremberg who were fallen in World War I. During the Party Congress of 1929 the then unfinished Hall of Honor was used for the enactment of a cult of the dead by the National Socialists the first time. During the Third Reich the Nazis used the site primarily as a commemoration for the fallen soldiers of World War I and commemoration of the 16 dead of the Hitler Putsch on November 9, 1923 in Munich. Hitler, accompanied by SS leader Heinrich Himmler and SA leader Victor Lutz, strode through the arena over the 240 meters long granite path from the main grandstand to the terrace of the Ehrenhall and showed the Nazi salute there. The ritual was the climax of the celebration. During the party rallies, deployments of the SA and the SS with up to 150,000 people took place in this area. The central relic here was the Blutfahne, which was allegedly carried by the Beer Hall Putsch rebels and was soaked with the blood of one of them. At the Blutfahne new Standarten of SA and SS units were consecrated by touching their guidons with the Blutfahne. Today the memorial honors the fallen German soldiers of the First and Second World Wars. After 1945 the city of Nuremberg redesigned the area into a park again. All buildings from the NS era were demolished. Only the half-round of the terraces of the main grandstand is recognizable. Near the Luitpoldarena the Luitpold Hall remains. Luitpold Hall. The Luitpold Hall had an outline of 180 AMA, A50 AM featured 76 loudspeakers, 42 spotlights, the largest pipe organ in Germany and could seat 16,000 people. Dating back to the Bavarian Exposition, the former machine hall was renovated and first used by the Nazis for the party convention Party Congress of 1934. Its monumental neoclassic facade featured a shell limestone facing with 3 enormous entrance portals. It was in this building during the Party Congress of 1935, that the Nuremberg laws were adopted which deprived German Jews and other minorities of their citizenship. The structure was severely damaged by Allied bombs in early 1945 and a few years later replaced by a parking lot. The granite staircase leading to the building remains intact today. Congress Hall. The Congress Hall is the biggest preserved National Socialist monumental building and is landmarked. It was planned by the Nuremberg architects Ludwig and Franz Ruff. It was planned as a Congress Center for the NSDAP with a self-supporting roof and should have provided 50,000 seats. It was located on the shore of and in the Pont du Centeich and marked the entrance of the rally grounds. The building reached a height of 39 am and a diameter of 250 am. The building is mostly built out of clinker with a facade of granite panels. The design is inspired by the Colosseum in Rome. The foundation stone was laid in 1935, but the building remained unfinished and without a roof. The building with an outline of a new ends with 2 head buildings. Since 2001, the Dokumentationszentrum Reich Parteitagsgelände currency NDE, with the permanent exhibition Faszination Ungeheuert, has been located in the northern wing. In the southern building, the Serenadenhof, the Nuremberger Symphonica have their domicile. See also, Documentation Center Nazi Party Rallying Grounds. Great Road. The Great Road is almost 2 km long and 40 am wide. It was intended to be the central axis of the site and a parade road for the Wehrmacht. In its northwestern prolongation the road points towards Nuremberg Castle. This was to create a relation between the role of Nuremberg during the Third Reich and its role during medieval times. The road reached from the Congress Hall to the Marktstraße RZFELD. The construction work started in 1935 and was finished in 1939. The pavement was made of granite pavers in black and grey with edges of exactly 1.2 am. A representative entrance portal and 2 pylons were planned at the northwestern end of the Great Road. Near the entrance area of the German stadium a grandstand with a hall of pillars was planned for the government leaders and generals which were to take the salute on Wehrmacht formations which were to march in direction of the parade ground Marktstraße RZFELD. After the war, the road was used as a temporary airfield for the U.S. Army. Nowadays, it is used by nearby Nuremberg Fair and Exhibition Company as an occasional parking area for highly frequented fairs. Zeppelinfeld. The Zeppelinfeld is located east of the Great Road. It consists of a large grandstand with a width of 360 meters and a smaller stand. It was one of Albert Speer's first works for the Nazi Party and was based upon the Pergamon altar. Its square piers are inspired by the work of Franco-American architect Paul Philippe Crête. The grandstand is famous as the building that had the swastika blown from atop it in 1945, after Germany's fall in World War II. The name Zeppelinfeld, or Zeppelin refers to the fact that in August 1909 Ferdinand Graf von Zeppelin landed with one of his airships in this location. From 1947 to 1995 the Nuremberg American High School, a Dodds facility, used the field for high school football and American football practice. In the 1970s, the pillars were removed for safety reasons. Years of neglect had taken their toll. The rest of the stand is intact and used as the centerpiece of the Norrisring motor racing track. The German leg of the traveling heavy metal festival Monsters of Rock was held here twice during the 1980s. Another part of the grounds is home to a campground. German Stadium. Along with his plans for the Welthauptstadt Germania, Albert Speer made the plans for the world's largest stadium which was to be located on the rally grounds. Derived from the Panathinaik Stadium of Athens, it would have offered 400,000 seats. It was to get the shape of a horseshoe. Plan dimensions: length 800 meters, width 450 m, height 100 m, building area 350,000 m². The laying of the foundation stone was on July 9, 1937. It was to be finished for the Party Congress in 1945. In 1938, the construction began with the excavation. It was stopped in 1939, but during the whole war, the casting pit had to be kept dry from entering groundwater. After the war, the northern half of the pit filled up with the water and is today called Silber See. The southern half was used to deposit the debris of the destroyed downtown Nuremberg. Mark currency RZFELD. The Mark currency RZFELD was to be a representation and parade ground for the Wehrmacht. It was located at the southern end of the Großstraße. Its dimensions were 955 x 610 meters or bigger than 80 football fields. The name of the huge deployment area was supposed to recall the recovery of military sovereignty of the German Reich in March 1935. The construction, never completed, began in 1938 with plans calling for 24 granite towers each about 40 meters in height. Only 11 were ever completed and demolished in 1966. Tribunes for about 160,000 people were planned around the field. On the central grandstand a group of colossal statues was planned, a goddess of victory and warriors. Today the site is occupied by a residential district, Langwasser, which also extends to the south, into the area previously used for tent cities during the party rallies. KDF Start. In the northeast of the rally grounds the KDF Start was built. In wooden exhibition halls regional products were presented and recreational events were accomplished during the party congresses. The NS organization KDF looked after workers during their free time. See also, Nazi architecture, references. External links, official website of the Documentation Center Reich Parteitagsgelände in Nuremberg.